Hi guys, it's Dr. Ron Miller here with cashbasedphysicaltherapy.org, and this is part 3 of our 4-part series of the top 4 questions that you need to ask yourself and solve before you open up your cash-based clinic. So step 1 was, what is an estimated first year revenue, and what are some types of sales that you need to do to be able to accomplish that goal of your revenue. Number 2 was, how much is it going to cost you to be able to reach those goals and hit those sales marks? And this is talking about expenses. You know, is it marketing? Is it just running the clinic? And we went over an example in the board behind us of example expenses that you can use to make your business profitable and run efficiently. So 3 is, how are you going to pay yourself? Okay, so I briefly touched on this in video 2, but let's go over an example here. So we have our example. Not sure if you've seen the first 2 videos, but we have our months here, our example monthly revenue here, our total monthly revenue. If you do it right, you should reach $70,000 or more. We have examples and sales using treatment packages and individual sessions and evals of what numbers it takes to reach those goals. Okay, we have our expenses here, and our expenses went up in the first year, whether it's rent, marketing, some bills, etc., and stuff like that. So here's our pre-salary and pre-tax profits. So we have some money here. Now there's many different ways that you can handle this, you know, whether you just do individual sessions or whether you're doing individual and treatment packages. Now here you can see at first you may not pay yourself any salary. It's perfectly fine. I think I went 3 or 4 months before I started paying myself any salary. So, you know, you have to be able to have some like emergency fund or some capital there that you don't need to be paid in the first couple months, because you may not pay yourself there. You could see our sales are $2,500, our expenses are $2,000. We only have $500 of profit there. So you may not pay yourself at first, but as you start getting some more money coming in, you know, what should you do to start paying yourself? And there's 2 ways of doing this. One, you can just look at these numbers, and at the end of the month you can pay yourself $2,500 here. Okay, you could just look at the amount of profit you have and just pay yourself at the end of each month. So just say you're paying yourself $2,000, you know, $2,500 here. Okay, and then you're going to be left over with $500 of profit right there. Okay, so you could just look at your pre-tax profit and decide how much you want to pay yourself as you start making profit here. Or you can go on a fixed rate of just saying, I'm going to pay myself $70 an hour off of every treatment package that I'm charging. Okay, or if you're doing treatment packages, you could say, I'm going to start off paying myself 50% of every treatment package that I sell, and I'm going to pay myself $70 for every individual session there. Okay, so there's 2 ways of doing this, but there's 2 important things here. Okay, you could see here that as soon as we kept the same revenue but expenses went up, our profit went down. Okay, this is essential. If you understand this, if you can keep your expenses down, you'll be able to pay yourself more, okay, because you'll have more profit here and you'll be able to pay yourself more. Now it's up to you and your CPA to kind of decide what's the best way to pay yourself, you know, with taxes, owner's draws, and etc. and stuff like that. But you know, the IRS is going to want you to take a salary to pay yourself, and you're going to get taxed on it. So it's up to you and your CPA to decide on what is the best way to pay yourself this way. But you can see here that at this point we made $7,500 in revenue. Expenses were only $2,000. We made $5,500 here. So maybe You know, at the end of the day, your biggest expense is going to be your salary. Okay, part of the reason why we're starting a cash-based clinic is so we can pay ourselves well. So in this month, you may be able to pay yourself $5,000. Okay, but you can see here, if your expenses go up, you're going to pay yourself less. So these next months, you may pay yourself only $4,000. Okay, and then as you get up to here, you have a couple $1,000s saved in one of your accounts, in the business account. So when you start generating $10,000 of monthly revenue, maybe you're paying yourself, you know, $6,000 a month here or more, depending on, it all depends on really on your amount of expenses here. So we're going over a general salary for your first year here. And again, this is just a general expectation of what to follow and a reasonable thing that you could be able to hit. If you hit these milestones, you'll be able to pay yourself that. So we're not taking taxes out yet or anything. This is just a general guideline on what to follow here. If you're hitting these numbers at this expense, okay, with this amount of profit, how much money can you actually pay yourself? And you're not going to be able to start paying yourself $6,000 to $8,000 a month until you hit $10,000 in sales, because you are going to have expenses, you're going to have taxes, and you're going to be managing things. You know, if you have $10,000 in sales in 1 month, you can't pay yourself $10,000. There's going to be expenses, there's going to be taxes, and things are always going to come up where you'll have to fix something, you know, buy some more equipment or a bonus or something like that. So here's an example timeline with salary. You may not pay yourself the first couple months. As you start making profit, you may be able to pay yourself a couple $1,000s a month. And then there's a direct correlation as your revenue increases. If you keep your expenses down, you should be able to get to a point where you can make $6,000 to $8,000 a month of salary if you start reaching some of your goals. So I hope this helps kind of outline and give you a milestone on a direction of what to expect to pay yourself in that first year in a cash-based physical therapy practice.